Alan, here we are, finally looking ahead to some matches. But first of all, looking at the playing squad, Kevin Dos Santos has signed on.
Yeah, I'm delighted with Kevin's attitude, application, everything since he's come in, and not a lot of people know he come in training last season with Erico. During the lockdown period when there wasn't any football, was still training. Kevin come in and he was a breath of fresh air. He was really exciting, full of energy, power, 21-year-old, and I just need to see him in games. And I told him to come back in pre-season so I could have a good look at him, and the kid hasn't disappointed. He went to Sheffield United, they put in a fantastic display. It's a display that was probably good enough for them to even inquire about him. So we decided to make a move on him. He's only 21-year-old, as I say, and he's got lots of potential, and I want to thank Erico for.
Luke Chairman has told us that he signed a new 2-year deal, which is great news, isn't it?
That's massive. We've been speaking to Luke all summer. Yes, I had the option on him, but there's been interest in Luke through the season, through all summer, and I want to make sure that we've got him tied down, and the board have backed us massively on it. We've done a lot of work on it, and with the lad and his agent himself, and it's a big season for Luke, this one. I think we need to see the best of him. We need to keep him fit. If he produces the goods that we think he's capable of, what I know he's capable of, then he won't be with us for long. But it was important that we did tie him down. As I say, we've got to think of the future of the club and everything and stuff like this. And at this moment in time, he's the number 9. He's the only one we've got at the football club at the minute. But as I say that, I'm not too worried about that. I am working quite hard on other players to help him on that situation. But delighted to get the lad signed on the 2-year deal, and it'll keep him nice and happy. And then, as I say, if you've got a happy player off the pitch, you'll have a happy one on the pitch. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, Jamie Holmes has had to call it a day because of his injuries. That was a big pity, that, because we could always see his potential.
I was gutted for Holmes. He really was. He's worked ever so hard, and I've never seen it before, to be honest. And because of the way he plays, he hyperextends his knees constantly, and he gives his all. The ability he's got with the ball, I'm just so disappointed the Dalton fans never got to see the full potential of him. And during the lockdown, he lost his job. Everything went against him, and I was gutted for the kid. He rang us up a few weeks back, and he just said his knee just keeps giving way, and that he didn't want to take any more money from the club. And a lot of players would have done that. He said he'd rather he's been offered a job up in Scotland away from home, and he'd rather just get money doing that way. And that speaks volumes of the kid. So you've got to look at him from that point of view. He thanks the club for everything they've done for him. We know we'll look after him, and that's him. He was willing to come back and play for free, and that's the type of lad he is. But he just doesn't want to take any more money. He just wants to concentrate on getting himself right, getting an income for himself, and then going from there. But he'll always be welcome. I've said to him, whenever you're back fit, whenever you feel comfortable, the door's open for him to come in and have a training session and take it from there.
Tyron ONeill, he figured in the game at Sheffield United. He's trained once or twice during the summer, but he played for Scunthorpe the other night and scored.
Yeah, it's a disappointing one. We've done worked ever so hard to try and get Tyron in. All summer, been speaking to him, trying to get his head round. Obviously, he's released from Mills, but I'm trying to get him in still. The offer's on the table for him until he decides otherwise. But then I get told he's been offered to go down on trial at Scunthorpe, which I wasn't too pleased about, to be honest, considering I've done a lot of groundwork with Tyron and training sessions every week with him and getting him fit, and we're starting to get somewhere with him. But I say the kid's got to do what's best for him, but we'll see what happens. The offer's still on the table for him, and he obviously wants to be a pro footballer. Everyone wants to be a pro footballer, but we'll see what happens on that one.
You brought in 9 new signings. Will there be some more? Obviously you won't for Tyron, but any more apart from that?
Plenty more. There's still a lot of work to be done. The ones I'm speaking to, obviously, they're either on trial at other clubs or at other clubs, the full-time players, and there's lads still deciding whether they can do the part-time or the full-time, and there's some that I haven't managed to get in that have decided to stay full-time, and there's not a lot I can do about that part of it. But we have been working extremely hard. There's been lots of offers on the table, and there's still offers on the table for players, and it's just waiting for them to make that decision. But I think it's starting to get that point now where we can't wait forever. We know that, but we've got a good nucleus here. We've got 14, 15 players at this moment in time, and I've got plenty left. I will say I've got plenty left in the budget, and the players I'm speaking to at this moment in time are big players.
Yeah. And there's still 3 weeks to go to the start of our season, isn't there? Only 2 weeks to start the Football League season, which might mean there's something might give elsewhere in the Football League before we start.
I think it will, because when you look at all the clubs at this moment in time, there's a lot of Football League clubs full of trialists. Wherever you go, all the games are full of trialists, and we'll see what happens after that and then take it from there. But the big bonus for me is we're not playing Saturday, Tuesday at the start of the season. Now that is a big bonus for us, especially with the squad being a little bit thin, but it gives me a little bit of time and I can be patient and wait for a few more players, because if they're on trial elsewhere, then they're still getting the fitness in elsewhere. It's not as if you're pulling them from the street. So it works both ways. It may be a little bit of a slow burner to try and get them in, but like I said, I'm quite happy with what I've got at this moment in time. In an ideal world, I would have been a lot happier if we had the ones I'm speaking to in, so we can work on them in the match days and so forth. But again, that's been another totally nightmare. Yeah. It's from the pre-season just went out the window after week 1, I think. But it was, listen, that happens really. We just got to get on with it. We suck it up and get on. We keep working. The lads are working extremely hard. The attitude from them has been unbelievable. Yeah.
Sometimes your pre-season's hampered by injuries. This time it's by COVID, isn't it? I mean, I think at one point we counted 16 people that had either COVID or been pinged. Is everybody over that now?
We're still waiting on one. We're still waiting on one who's had COVID. He's out tomorrow. It's like getting let out of prison, isn't it? Like, Daz has just been led back out. I was led back out on Saturday, so it's been madness. I've never known anything like it, and but we've got to deal. Every other club's dealing with it as well, and it's just one of them things. It's just unfortunate that every time seems to be half a dozen of the first team. So I've never really had them together. It's like one half a dozen, then the next half a dozen, then the next half. It was just ping after ping, or it's like you've got COVID, you've got to stay at home. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, but it is what it is. These lads, what I will say, the attitude and the sessions have been fantastic. The work ethic's been fantastic. We've missed out on the games. Undoubtedly, that's going to have a little bit of an effect, and we've got to squeeze these 5 games in now, and we've got to make sure that they count. So it's just trying to keep people fit without causing too many niggly injuries, and that's why we've got a lot of the academy lads in training with us as well to help ease the numbers a little bit. But the trialists, unfortunately, we haven't had enough trialists because of the games. There's no point bringing trialists in if you haven't got the games. So, but at the end of the day, I know what I need, and it's the players the players I'm looking at and speaking to aren't ones that you want to bring in on trial. They're actually senior pros. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Newcastle's the first friendly on Saturday. It's going to be fantastic to see fans there, isn't it? After so long, nearly 500 days, March 2020 since we last saw fans in the ground. It's going to be great to have an atmosphere in there, isn't it?
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get them fans back, because I hated it. Absolutely hate. Honestly, I did. I just couldn't wait for that season to finish last season, to be honest, when there was just nothing there, no atmosphere whatsoever. Every game felt like a pre-season game, like a really dull game where the result didn't really matter. Everyone knew the league was going to finish, so it didn't really matter. The only games that interested you was the cup, and it shouldn't have done. But unfortunately, that's what was happening in the lads' heads. Everyone knew that, even the manager, the staff knew that, board knew that. We knew it was happening with the season. It seemed like pointless games, and just no fans there. Cricket TV done an unbelievable job for the fans, because the quality was unbelievable. Believe me, I watched a lot of other games that was nowhere near the standard, so a massive plus to that, and I'm pleased we can keep that going during pre-season. But again, I cannot wait to get them fans back in the stadium, and hopefully get that noise, get that atmosphere again, and hopefully this season we'll give them I'd like to finish a season, actually. I think this is the 3rd year I've been here now, and I've never finished a season. Last time I finished a season, I finished in the playoffs from Blythe, so fingers crossed we'll get that one this year.